Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we got a great fun one for you today. We've got another little animation here. We've got some little call to action boxes. And as you can see, they're kind of randomly fading in and out over these images here. Really eye-catching little thing to have on your website. It's going to get people's attention pretty quickly. It's pretty cool. At least I think so. Now this is really easy to do. When I put my mouse over one though, it's going to stop. So they can read it, they can click on it. Or of course on tablet, if they tap on it, it's going to do that. It's going to stop and they can read it, click on the link, what have you. But of course, even if you don't, they're going to just sort of roll in at their own speeds. So let's get this done. I'm going to enable the visual builder. And let's delete all this and we'll start from scratch. Okay, by default it puts in a section for us, the blue tab. I'm going to add a row. Obviously put as many or as few as you want of these in. I'm just going to use 2 for mine today. This will work with any module you care to use here. I'm actually going to use a call to action. And of course you can mix and match if you want to. Obviously put what you want your title to stay in there. Put what you want your button to say right here. I know there's no button at the moment. It'll show up as soon as I put a link in down below. We've got some body text here. It's a WYSIWYG section. So you can align, make headings, bold, italicize, add media if you want to. And again, I'm just leaving mine on the default there. Here we are in the link down below. And this is all under our content tab here. As soon as I put a button link in, that button shows up there. Of course, you can style these buttons and text and headings any way you want over in design there. I'm going to leave mine all on the default styling. To style any of these, just hit the little blue pencil associated with it. It'll take you straight to the design tab for that element. And if you actually want the whole module, at the moment, if they click on the button, it's going to take them somewhere. You can put another link in, so anywhere they click on the module, it'll take them somewhere. You can do that right there. And always best practice, if you're linking to your own site, leave it in the same window. If you're linking off-site to somebody else's, open in a new tab. That way, your site will stay open. Okay. Let's go down to background. For me, I'm going to choose a simple background color. Let's go with my dark gray 2424 that I've been using. Now, we're going to put an image behind this. If, when the module comes in, you want to see a hint of that image behind still, click on the color field with your left mouse button. We've got an opacity slider over here. If you just take that down a little bit, you'll notice that when we put an image behind, you'll see part of it through there. I want mine to be solid to fully cover the image when it comes in, so I'm going to leave mine at the top there, but that is a nice little option. Okay, for anybody that's watched some of my hover effects videos, image to text, you know what we're going to do next. We're going to go into the column that this module is sitting in and put an image in it. To do that, go into the row, the green tab. Here's our columns. We're working in the first column right here. Background's always under content. Third tab along are images. Hit the plus and throw in whatever image you want to throw in there. Now, of course, we can't see it because it's behind our module here. So this is where our little animation comes in. So let's save our column settings. Back into the main row, we'll save that. And we'll go back into our little call to action module here, dark tab. And let's make this animation happen. I'm going to go over to my advanced tab, down to custom CSS. Again, today we're going to use the freeform CSS tab. To target this particular module, all I have to write is selector. We'll open and close some curly brackets. And I want to create an animation which is going to sort of fade this thing in and out over that image that we've got behind it. So I'm going to say animation, colon, and we need to give it a name. Let's call it module fade, Mfade, whatever you want to call yours. I'm going to have mine running for perhaps 20 seconds, which is a long time, but it does make for interest value. And I want it to be continuing, so I'm going to say infinite. Great. Well, now we told it what we want it to do. We need to create this animation we've called Mfade, and we're going to use keyframes for this today. We're going to say at keyframes, at KEY, FRAMES. Then the name we gave it, which is Mfade. Now we can open some more curly brackets here and tell it exactly what we want it to do. Well, when the page loads, I don't want to see this at all, really. I just want to see the image that's behind it. So 0%, 0, and a percent sign. Let's open some more curly brackets. 0% would be the beginning of second one of our 20 seconds up here. In between our curly brackets, I'm going to write opacity, colon, 0. And that's going to make it invisible. It's still there, it's just invisible. As you can see, it's starting to do a little fade thing already up there. Okay, I'm going to copy this. Control C. I'm going to drop down and paste it below. Control V. Okay, I'm going to change this opacity to 40% down here, and I'm going to make this opacity value 1, which is fully visible. So at 40%, which would be the 8-second mark, it's going to bring it back to being visible. But I don't want it to flicker, so I'm going to put some comma-separated values in here. I'm just going to put a comma. Then at 20%, I also want it to be invisible. In other words, it's going to stay invisible from 0 to 20%. And also at 100%, I want it to be invisible. I don't put a comma after that last one, only the first two here. Then we want to keep it visible from 40 to 80%. And adjust these values to taste, obviously. So I'm going to comma separate this, and I'm going to put an 80 in there. 80%. Now, during our 20-second period, it should be invisible until 20%. It's going to fade into 40%. It's going to stay there to 80%, 16-second mark, and it's going to fade back out to 100%. As you can see over to the left there, it's pretty much doing exactly what we want. But I do, when they hover over it, I wanted to stop this animation and just show this call to action module so they can read it and click on the button if they want to. And I think I've given them enough time here with the fade to be able to read it even when it's animating. So to make this stop on hover, I'm going to copy my selector up there to the first closing curly bracket there. Control C. I'm going to drop down below here. Control V to paste. Right after the R of our selector right there. I'm going to put a colon on the word hover. And we've just created a hover effect. In other words, we can do something down here once they've got their mouse on it. All I'm going to do, animation, I'm going to select all this. I'm going to change it to just say none, N-O-N-E. So when we put our mouse over now, that animation stops. When we take it off, it's going to restart. Perfect. But as you saw in the beginning, I want several of these, and I want them to sort of fade in and out at different times. Really easy to do. Let's save our changes here. I think it's probably easier for me to go on the back end and do this. We can do it on the front end. But to do it in wireframe mode, if we go down to the little purple button here, click on it. Little icon on the left-hand side, wireframe view. Going to click on it. Here's the back end. I'm going to duplicate this module. So we've got another one over here. Absolutely identical. Obviously, you want to change out your title and call to action button unless they're going to the same place. Now we've got 2 in our row, and this is important. I'm going to duplicate the row. We don't want any more than 2 in each row because that'll make a column and the image behind will not work correctly. Now, once we've done that, we can go into each of these, over to the advanced, to our custom CSS, and let's just change the timing. Let's take this one down to perhaps 16 seconds. Go into our next one, advanced, custom CSS. Let's take this one up to maybe 22 seconds. And this one, perhaps we'll make 18 seconds. And again, just adjust to taste, experiment with it, what works for you. That means the timings will all be slightly different. In fact, let's make this 24. Bit of more of a spread there. And we just need to add some more images in the columns now, because this one's got an image behind it, but these 3 don't because we didn't add one. You know how to do that. We'll go into the row. We're using column 2 now. This one right here. Background. Third tab, background image. Pop in the image you want. Save it. We'll move on to the next one. Throw down here, column 1. Background. This one's already got it in it because we cloned it from above. I'm just going to pop that one in there. And last but not least, we'll go into our next column. Background. You know what we're doing. And we'll throw that one. Great. Let's just flip back to desktop mode. We'll save this. And this is what we've got so far. Now, once you're happy, let's go down. We'll save our draft. Make sure this is going to work on the front end for us. Exit the Visual Builder. And here we have it. Images first. Then our little modules are going to start fading in. And the longer it actually runs for, the more difference there will be in the fade in, fade out with these modules, as those second values get further apart. And that's really interesting. It's almost soothing. It's going to get people's attention. Like I say, they can just hover on it. They can stop that animation. They can click on it. They can read the content. Take the mouse off. It's all going to start animating again. And of course, it'll work just as well on tablet and mobile. If I hit my little F12 key, here we have it on an iPad Air. As you can see, they're all sort of animating, doing their things. And again, they'll just have to tap on it and it'll stop. And they can click on the call to action button. Same thing with the phone. If I switch to an iPhone, exactly the same. And like I say, that just adds a little bit of interest value to your site. Really easy to do, as you can see. And as usual, I'll put that code down below the video for anybody that wants to copy and paste it. But I would recommend you write it yourself. It's really easy to do. Once you've done it a few times, you can create your own animations for things. And it really will up your web design editing skills. Fantastic. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video like this one. If you have enjoyed this today, please give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share. There'll be plenty more coming. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.